This is the current stock market update for SoFi Technologies, stock ticker SOFI. Before we begin with today's stock market analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons. Leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. We are looking at the 4-hour time frame here. Each candle represents a 4-hour trading period. And I wouldn't want to leave out Mr. Goat Boy because he seems to have disappeared from the entire platform now that his hopes and dreams for SoFi share prices moving into $50 per share or a 3x back in 2021. Now that these things have not materialized, this person does seem to have completely vanished from YouTube. Of course, I know many of you really love this guy's content, so I thought that I would just sort of bring him back so that people aren't missing him too much. But what we're going to look at in this video is the price movement that we saw today, which was positive. We did see a little bit of gains today. And the major question that people should be asking is whether or not this is actually the bottom. Are we going to see further downside price movements, or are we ready to start reversing higher, which is what this person Invest with Corey seems to believe. Okay, so whenever you're looking for an actual upside reversal, and this doesn't just apply to SoFi, this could be any stock in general, what exactly are you looking for? I mean, this is the type of question that people need to be asking because I did recently watch one of this person's quote unquote technical analysis videos recently. It was pretty pathetic, and it was very obvious that he's just looking for ways to tell you that the stock is moving higher because that does tend to be what gets the most clicks on this platform. Making people excited about things rather than actually being honest about the situation. At the moment, there is not much reason to believe that positive momentum is in place. This recent trend movement with the collapse from close to $33 per share below $17 per share has clearly focused the momentum in the downside direction. As that happened, you broke through the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement zone, which is very significant because this is not a short-term time frame that we're looking at. And it's a very massive trending price movement. So, to the downside here, you had share prices around 850 or 860 into about $32 per share. So you're looking at, a fairly substantial price movement to the top side in a very short period of time. One of the most obvious warning signals that was present here could be found at the bottom of this price chart, as we can see. It's very obvious that negative momentum was governing share prices even as the stock was moving into its all-time high. So it's an obvious red flag, major warning signal here because, if you just look at the trend in the momentum reading and then the trend in share prices, you can see that the share price movement was not being validated or confirmed by the indicator reading. The indicator reading is moving in the negative direction. That's the negative momentum. Share prices are moving in the positive direction. Why is that not completely surprising? Well, it's because you've got a large retail presence that's buying this stock due to people like this or people like Mr. Hairplugs that we were looking at with the first part of the video. So if you are still bullish on this banking app, and I don't know why you would be bullish on a stock like this, stocks in the financial sector are generally incredibly boring. There really is not much innovation that actually goes on. I understand people think that SoFi is going to be a revolution in the payment system or changing the world of finance forever. But if we're looking at the actual share price action, what can you see here? I'll really just sort of zoom in here very closely because number one, the share price itself is still trading well below all of the major exponential moving averages. That's significant because if we go back in time, we can see that many of the major declines and even many of the major rallies were seen as share prices were making major changes or major movements right around those moving averages. So for example, if the stock price is trading above these EMAs, these 4 EMAs, the trend has been higher. We started to see a bit of a sideways price movement up here, and then share prices fell below the moving averages, which should be very obvious if I just sort of zoom in here. The stock is clearly trading below all 4 of these, and that brings you into what would have to be considered to be a downtrend or a negative bearish trend wave movement. When you combine these two factors, the fact that the stock has moved below the 618 retracement and share prices are still trading below all 4 major EMAs, there's really not much reason to believe that you're going to be seeing a substantial reversal anytime soon. One thing that I could possibly point to is maybe that the rate of change to the downside has started to diminish a bit. So you did see kind of this major crash here, if I outline it this way. You did see this kind of substantial crash or collapse. And then since then, that rate of change or the rate of decline is not as bad as it was previously. And I would admit that that's a little bit of a positive, but you're still breaking through support levels, even short term support levels. So, for example, as we can see here, we had a prior support zone. The stock was attempting to bounce off of roughly 1715. Well, what has happened over the last few trading sessions? I understand that we did see some upside price movement today. You're going to see all of the pump and dump YouTube channels because that's all of what goes on YouTube is pump and dump. But what we're going to see here is that, maybe this is the bottom and the stock is cheaper now. And we did start to see some upside price movement. So maybe this is the time to start buying. Well, you did break through a significant Fibonacci retracement zone. You're below all four major exponential moving averages, and you're still not able to find anything that would resemble a clear level of historical support. So what that means is that you're continuing to make a series of lower lows. So the only way to refer to that is a continued downtrend. There really is not much evidence of a bottom just yet. That doesn't mean it would never happen. I don't think the stock is worth $0 per share. There has been some member growth, but what has to be understood is that the stock is still trading at an absolutely insane forward valuation. The price to earnings ratio approached 95 at one point last year, which is completely ridiculous for an online banking app. And people like Invest with Corey, which is a person that has an extensive criminal history. We're talking about convictions here. We're not talking about arrests. So when we see people like this making stupid faces, telling you to buy the stock, telling you that share prices are ready to reverse higher, you have to look for actual evidence in the share price action itself because that's the only thing that actually matters.